we were both ill at the same time, but she'd been ill a lot longer than I had. More than 20 years she'd been ill. Not life-threatening, but debilitating illnesses. So, and she'd tried everything, you know, the normal channels. So she got to a point where it was just not working. So she said, okay, I'm going to have a fundamental change here. I'm going to EXL. And that's when she started. At that point, I never heard of EXL. And, you know, I argued with her in the beginning and said, that's really, you know, not the way to go. You really have to follow what you've been taught. Well, you have to follow what your doctors say. But she said, I've been following them for 20 years, so I want to try something different. Maybe they're wrong, okay? Myself, because I was very sick at that time, I still refused. Even when we talked about EXL, I refused to go to EXL very strongly. I was very anti, okay, because that was against everything I'd ever been taught in my upbringing. So basically, she started, I didn't. So if you look at two things, we were going up, not apart from each other, but apart in health, because she started to get better after a few weeks. She could really see the difference. I was still going very much the other way. So there came a point when I had to accept, wow, maybe there's something in this, maybe. Because here am I, you know, knowing it, Mr. Know-all say, oh yeah, you can't go that way, which she's chosen to go her own way, and I'm going this way, and yet we're pulling apart because I'm getting sicker and she's getting better. So hang on a minute, maybe she's right. Yeah. So then I decided that I would try, and that was only about maybe a year, 8, 9, 10 months difference in that time. So Jenny, over that period of time, quickly improved from a situation where we spent so much time in hospitals and emergency rooms and doctors' rooms and all the drugstores, and we spent so much of our life doing that. And I'd always been well, but I got sick, and then of course things, you know, I changed. So basically that's when we started, and that's not so long ago. You know, when you've been really sick, then it changes you as a fundamental person. You're either just grateful and you go away, or it leaves an impact on you. And it certainly left one on me when I saw so much illness in that. So, and the realization for me that maybe we've all been going the wrong way for a long time, and something needed to be done, even in a small way by myself, and to see somebody get well when they. I know EXL is not really was not set up to make people well. It was set up to prevent people getting sick. So people have to understand that. But the consequence is you can make people well. And, you know, to see that happen with people, that changes you. You know, it really, from a, not a cynical businessman, but from a really hard businessman, that changed me into a different kind of human being. I never thought about business with this. I was getting better. So once you get to that point, and Jenny was getting better, then you introduce your friends naturally, your family first. And then of course income starts to come. You think, hang on a minute. So then I examined the business model and realized, wow, this is a fantastic business model too. So it's a natural consequence. It's not a design. But for me, well, for us, it wasn't a design. It was just a natural consequence of where we were, you know, where we'd got to at that point. Because if you start to earn money, then you see the potential to earn even more money. That was not the real fundamental of getting into. Obviously, it was being unwell, but it's a natural consequence. Never about money particularly with me. It was about the business, you know, making a success, finding something, building it, making it better than anybody else's. That was what drove me. But in driving you, it also you stop being a human being at some point. And so it brings you back to being a human being, and that's what I enjoy most. Being here, seeing the guys, you know, making so many friends. Just being part of what I call a family, which because it is, it's a big family at EXL. So to me that's really, really important factor. Well, that's a continual thing, of course. You're always looking at the next training product, how you help your downlines, what you're doing. You know, you have to look at this ship. okay? That is a section of North America. You know, you walk around this ship and you see people who maybe they're healthy now, but in a few years' time, because they've got their diets are wrong. So many things you can see that's a section of the whole society. You know, trying to change that in a small way. You know, so in doing that, you have to have training. You have to get your downlines working. You have to, you know, be active all the time. You know, it's not something that you get here. We're Diamond Masters, okay? So is that the end of where we go? Absolutely not. You know, that's just a level that you reach. The real work is in the future, because you can see it all the way around you. In your life, you can see it all the way around you. You know, changing people's thinking about how their lifestyles, how they react to, you know, news. Because people, it's quite difficult. It's very difficult sometimes to take somebody like me, who spent 60 years, if you like, being taught one way, to change their thinking. So I think the real aim for me, because maybe some of those it's difficult, is we have to get into the younger people before they get to that stage. It's a quest now. It's not a job. It's not a business. It's a quest. If you talk about Dr. Chow Fei Chen, you know, her vision was to bring health to the world. Well, that's what we're trying to do in a small way. So if we all work together, that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, that's what the future holds.